If you're old enough, you probably remember all the doomsdaying there was around the Y2K problem. And if you aren't old enough, well, lots of people were concerned in the late 1990s that once January 1st, 2000 arrived, computers would think the year was 1900 instead of 2000, causing a huge number of unforeseen problems because computers are stupid. Well, the year 2000 got here and not much of anything happened. I mean, some taxi meters glitched out, but there weren't apocalyptic consequences. But wait! Even though 2000 was a nothing burger, there have been other date-related shenanigans that have happened since then, and there might be more in the future. So let's start out by talking about a software bug that hit in 2010, which kept millions of people from accessing their own hard-earned money. Over in Germany, roughly 30 million bank cards simply stopped working in January 2010. Some customers couldn't withdraw any euros, while others had their cards simply eaten by ATMs. The issue was that the microchip inside the card simply couldn't comprehend that the year was 2010. What? Replacing the cards would have cost nearly $500 million, though fortunately, a software patch was issued instead. Now, another issue with more global consequences popped up in 2019, which affected the global positioning system, better known as GPS. You see, GPS keeps track of which week it is, using a counter that only goes up to 1023. This is because the counter only has 10 binary digits, meaning weeks are marked starting with 0 and ending with 1023. Now, 1023 weeks is a little under 20 years, so each time the counter maxes out and resets to 0, there's the potential for anything that relies on GPS time to experience issues. That happened in 2019. Flights were delayed or canceled as a result, and older cell phones and consumer GPS trackers also dealt with loss of location data. Fortunately, this is an issue that can typically be solved with software fixes, but the problem is going to rear its ugly head once again in 2038. And I'd be willing to bet there's going to be some kind of issue because someone forgot to issue a patch. Just patch it up, it's easy. I think it's hard. And if 2038 sounds familiar, that's because you're probably thinking about the Unix time problem, which works similarly to the GPS bug. Originally, systems based on the Unix kernel, including macOS and anything that runs Linux, used 32 bits to keep track of how many seconds had passed since January 1st, 1970. If you do the math, the counter maxes out in January of 2038, and unlike the GPS problem we mentioned, it's not straightforward to fix it with a software update, as changing the way the counter works could break a large number of programs. Although it seems like this could be catastrophic when you think of how many servers and embedded devices use Linux, the good news is that many systems based on Unix have since been updated to 64-bit, including older Linux systems. And using a 64-bit time counter means it wouldn't roll over for another 292 billion years. I'm hoping by then we'll have figured out a way to write software smart enough to always know what time it is, but human beings, you never know. Finally, let's end the video on a lighter note. We've been used to using 4-digit years since the Battle of Hastings in 1066, but what's going to happen once we hit the year 10,000 AD? We got used to the idea of computers needing to use 4 digits for the year when the original Y2K problem was first pondered, but in about 8,000 years, we might run into the same issue again, only this time, we'll need 5 digits instead of 4. Although we have nearly 8 millennia to figure it out, Y10K is already an issue for researchers, as astronomical calculations often have to be done on very long timescales. So here's hoping that Y10K doesn't cause us to miss an incoming meteor, as Bruce Willis probably won't be around to save us. But who knows? What I do know is that this video is sponsored by Drop. Drop and Hammer launched a unique keycap that'll be the envy of all of your friends. We're bringing 2017 back, baby, with the Fidget Spinner Artisan Keycap. It's artsy this time. It has a spinnable top shaped just like the spinners you used to see on the streets anyways. It comes in 7 vibrant colors, from transparent watermelon to spotted cheetah and everything in between on the spectrum between those two things. It's the perfect time killer in between loading screens and game rounds. Spin into action with your fidget spinner keycap at the link below. Whoa, ever seen a tech quickie like that before? Probably not, because it's a new one. Thanks for watching, guys. Like it, dislike it, check out our other videos, comment below with video suggestions, subscribe, follow, anything you wanna do in the world, you can do.